1788. Windsor Castle. The most powerful man in the world is screaming. They say he tried to shake hands with a tree, thinking it was the King of Prussia. They say his urine turned a deep, terrifying shade of blue. And they say his madness cost Britain an entire continent, America. But what if the history books are lying to you? What if King George III wasn't actually mad at all? Today, we open the royal doctor's secret diary to uncover the medical mystery that brought an empire to its knees. This isn't a fairy tale. This is the painful truth behind the crown. In the 18th century, madness wasn't treated with therapy. It was treated with torture. Enter Dr. Francis Willis, a man who treated the King of England not as a monarch, but as a wild animal that needed to be broken. They blistered his legs until the skin burned. They forced him to vomit. They drew blood until he fainted. But the worst part, the gag. Whenever the king spoke too much or screamed in pain, they shoved a handkerchief into his mouth and tied him to a chair. Imagine the humiliation. The ruler of the British Empire, silenced like a criminal in his own palace. And watching from the shadows was Queen Charlotte. Their love story was actually rare for royals. They were faithful. They had 15 children. They were happy. But as George's mind shattered, Charlotte became terrified of him. The doctors eventually banned her from seeing him. The king was alone in the dark, screaming her name. While George was fighting the monsters in his head, he was losing the jewel of his empire, America. Historians argue, did his stubbornness cause the revolution? Or was his judgment clouded by his illness? We may never know for sure. But we do know one thing. The clue was in the chamber pot. The king's urine was often described as purple or blue. Today, modern medicine has a name for this: Porphyria, a rare genetic blood disorder. It causes severe abdominal pain, blue urine, and, yes, hallucinations. The end came not with a bang, but with a whisper. By 1810, the king was completely blind and deaf. He wandered the halls of Windsor Castle, talking to angels. He spent hours talking to his favorite daughter, Princess Amelia, unaware that she had died years ago. When Britain finally defeated Napoleon at Waterloo, the crowds cheered in the streets. But George didn't know. He didn't even know he was still king. He died in 1820, a prisoner in his own mind. A tragic end for a man who just wanted to be a good father and a good ruler. But here's the scary part regarding genetics. It never truly forgets. Doctors now believe porphyria is hereditary. It hides in the blood, waiting to wake up. Some historians claim traces of the royal disease might have been passed down through Queen Victoria's line, reaching all the way to modern Europe. Could the madness of King George return one day? Or is it already hiding in plain sight within the palace walls? That is a secret the royal family will never tell. So, what do you think? Was George a tyrant who lost America, or a victim of his own biology? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this royal scandal, hit that like button and subscribe, because history is darker than you think. See you in the next mystery.